Good evening and welcome to Silent Meadows. Tonight, let's explore a topic that I believe is truly worth reflecting on: how living a life with less doing can lead to greater freedom and happiness. We're all familiar with the pressure to buy a house or the struggles of being a mortgage slave, trying to keep up with the rat race. But have you ever stopped to question why buying a house is seen as the ultimate goal? Susan, a wise and serene woman, often looks at us with a gentle smile and asks, "Why do we all have to buy houses? The house should follow the person, not the other way around. People are alive, but houses are not. A house is meant to serve us, not the other way around." Susan has never followed the crowd by taking out a mortgage for an expensive home. Instead, she values convenience and comfort. When she first got married, Susan and her husband rented a small, charming apartment in a lovely neighborhood. It was perfectly located between their two offices, and they both walked to work every day. The apartment was quaint, with soft light pouring in through the windows, and there was a little cafe on the corner where Susan would stop for a coffee before heading to work. It wasn't much, but it was enough. After having a child, Susan moved into a two-bedroom flat with a garden near her office. The garden was small but filled with sunshine, a perfect spot for the grandparents to come and go, doing laundry and enjoying the fresh air. The house had big windows, and you could hear the distant sound of birds chirping in the mornings, creating a calm, peaceful environment. It was the perfect home for her growing family. The best part: it was just a short walk to the office, making it easy for Susan to manage her work-life balance and care for her child. When her son started school, Susan once again found a place that was ideally located, this time near the school, in a quiet, family-friendly neighborhood. The community was filled with people who shared similar values and respected one another. Children played together in the park after school, and Susan's son could walk to school with his friends, free from the stress of daily school runs. It was a safe and comfortable environment for them all. Susan compared the costs of renting these properties to buying a home, and found that renting was far more affordable, yet she and her family were living a life of much higher quality. She could move freely, without the burden of a mortgage, and still enjoy the luxury of a beautiful, comfortable home. When the craze of learning to drive swept the country, Susan didn't feel the need to join in, even though she could easily afford a car. She'd always found joy in simple things, and she wasn't particularly interested in machines. From an economic and environmental perspective, taking taxis was far more cost-effective and less hassle. She didn't need a car. After all, her home was flexible and mobile, just like her life. No car is required. During the stock market boom, when everyone rushed to invest, hoping to strike it rich, Susan just watched from the sidelines with a knowing smile. "I'd love to get rich overnight too," she said, "but I'm just not interested in numbers." Her happiness wasn't tied to the stock market or any other material pursuit. She was content with what she had, and that was enough. She believes in not adding unnecessary stress to life and instead focusing on enjoying the sweetness of living. So while others were stressing over the stock market's ups and downs, Susan was leisurely sipping her Longjing tea, reading a good book, and writing. Over time, as the market crashed and everyone realized the risks, Susan had already earned nearly 100,000 yuan from her writing. It wasn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It was the result of pursuing something she truly loved. While many were running around, sending their children to countless after-school tutoring classes in a bid to raise the next generation of overworked, high-achieving professionals, Susan's son spent his afternoons in the garden, making things with his hands. Susan was content with his simple ambition. He wanted to be a happy blue-collar worker, and she thought that was perfect. Because of this, Susan's son grew up to be one of the most resourceful and independent children at school. He won multiple national awards for his creative designs, his hands-on skills and self-reliance setting him apart from his peers. Susan rarely visits large supermarkets. She prefers the convenience of the local shops. With her basket in hand, she strolls down to the nearby market and picks up only what she needs. She says this helps her avoid the overwhelming, never-ending rows of choices on supermarket shelves, which she finds stressful. The simplicity of it brings her peace. Sometimes, less really is more. There are many things we don't need to do, and perhaps that's what makes life more meaningful. Now, Susan lives in a rented old house, with a beautiful garden, a spacious living room, and large windows that let in the soft glow of the afternoon sun. The house is full of character, with worn wooden floors and a charming fireplace in the corner. On weekends, we love to visit her for tea, enjoying the fragrance of the tea, the warmth of the sunlight streaming through the windows, and the cool breeze that flows through the open door. Without the pressure of mortgage payments, car loans, or other self-imposed stresses, Susan's life is as calm and refreshing as a soft breeze. We often visit Susan just to experience the peace she's created for herself, then leave, rushing back to our busy, demanding lives. Our envy is genuine, but not doing requires a certain mindset. But we are truly lucky to have a friend like Susan, who has shown us that there's a different kind of happiness in this world. One that comes from doing less, not more. So, if you're feeling weighed down by the constant pressures of life, remember Susan's story. Sometimes, the most freeing thing you can do is stop trying to keep up and start enjoying what you already have. If you enjoyed this story and would like to hear more, please consider subscribing to my channel. Wishing you a peaceful night and sweet dreams. Good night.